Okay. You all ready for a break? No? Yes? I hear a yes. I hear some no's. I hear I'm hungry. I feel you. Let me tell you this. Let's get through this next video, and then we'll take a little break. You can go to the bathroom and do whatever you need to do, and then we will finish this up. I mean, honestly, like we've been coding for a hot minute already, for like a couple hours, hour and a half or so. So if you're feeling a little tired, like it's cool. I got you. Um, but let's do one more. Cool? Okay. So in the previous videos, we learned how to add state to a class-based component here by doing this. State equals having, it's an object that, and remember that state is just data in your component that does change. And so we learned how to add state to our main class component. But we never really learned how to change the state without writing the code ourselves. Like we don't want to come in here and every time a customer orders something, like write the code that would look like that person. We want the app to control that itself, right? So we're going to update the main component a bit to render orders that show more than just the name of the person ordering. And while we can always put all our logic inside our class method right here, we can extract it in this render order method. Another way to do that is put all of our logic inside a new component. And so right here, right below class main, the very bottom, let's make a new component. Let's say function order item. That's going to take in some props, and it's going to do two things. It's going to take, okay, cool. And I'm going to teach you something here. We could do this a couple ways. I'm actually not going to do this. We're just going to return when someone orders the order item function is going to take in some props, and it's going to return a list item. Okay, and it's going to just use props dot customer and props dot props dot items. It's going to map over props dot items. Yeah, there we go, and display the name and the price. So it's going to look something like, where did I put it? Oh, here we go. It's going to look something like this. We're going to take the list item. I know I'm not putting a key in here. We'll actually put a key. Well, you know what? I'll show you. Just follow with me for now. I'll show you what I mean. And you know, there's a couple ways to do this, by the way. See how we keep saying props.customers right there with the props? There is this thing, I wasn't sure if I was going to teach you this or not, but I might as well now. There's something called destructuring that's really useful in JavaScript to know exactly what it is you're dealing with here. You destructure this props object by saying const, and then you use this right here. And so the props object is going to have a couple things. It's going to have the customer key and the items key. You see that? We can do here is we can say, hey, const customer comma items is equal to props dot order. What is it going to be? Props dot order, right? Because the order is going to be passed to it, and the order has customer and me. Yeah, so we'll say props dot order right here. Props dot order. So const customer comma items is equal to props.order. And this is the exact same thing as just saying const customer is equal to props.order.customer and const items is equal to props.order.items. It's what destructuring does right here. I know it says I already did it. I get it. So if I comment that out, these are the same thing. It's just taking this key at the end of that props.order object, and it's creating its own single variable called customer, its own constant. And so I don't have to say props.customer, props.order.customer. I can just say customer. And so to do that, we use something called destructuring right here. And by destructuring the props.order object, we get all of this goodness. And that just makes things, easier. It really does. There's nothing else to it. It's not anything special. We're not doing anything crazy. It's just, we're just writing less code. It's helping us write less code. It's making our functions easier to interpret. And so once that's good to go, we can include our order item component inside our main component. And so when we render the order here, because instead of doing all this crazy stuff, and see how this render order is taken up like from line 79 to 86, let's go and delete everything, because I can. And we're going to say it just automatically returns the order item where the order is equal to whatever order was passed to us, and the key is the IDX. And this is why I didn't need to include a key there. So now this render order method is one line. It takes an order and an index, and it passes it to the order item custom component that we just wrote, and it gives it properties. The props object is going to hold props.order, and its key is going to be the index. And so that is why right down here, when we have these props, we can destructure props.order like so, and then just display the customer. So let's save it. Let's make sure it still works. Uh-oh, items is assigned a value but never used. Oh yeah, you're right, I didn't use it here. We're gonna use it next. And bam, this is great, but it'll also complain in here. So let's fix it. Nothing has changed, but we can sort of like leave the main component alone, and now we can just modify our order item component and just know that everything in here is gonna work fine. I just think that makes things so much easier. So let's go in here and let's actually make this a little big. You cool with that? It's gonna get bigger. But I think it'll look nicer when we're done. It'll just be easier to understand. And so we're returning this list item. Let's give it a class name equal to order-item. Okay. And let's add two things here. Let's create a strong tag, so it's bold, strong for the customer. And then let's create an unordered list below the customer's name that is going to hold the same thing. Remember how we do this? We're going to loop over the item. So how would we start doing that? You know what? No, good call. You do it yourself. We'll come back to you in a second, and I'll give you the answer. You ready? I want you to loop over all the items and display them here as a list item, just like we have done with every other unordered list. Give it a shot. Let me know. I'll come around and help you out if you need it. Take a few minutes and let's make this happen. Money. So you're getting the hang of this now, clearly, right? Now, some of you might have started trying to do this .items, but notice that items, we're using a functional component here, a pure functional component, and so we don't use this at all. We don't need to use this or anything like that. We can just say items because we destructured it out of the props.order object. So we can just say items.map each item. Let's call it each, or you want to call it each order? That's because it was orders, right? So take each order and the index, and we return a list item just like before. So this is funny, we have a list item and then we have a UL inside the list item with another list item inside the UL. Meta, super meta, I know, but it ends up making sense. So we just say class name equals menu item. Is that what do we call it up here? We call it order item or something? Yeah, order item, and this is the menu item. And we'll give this one another key equal to the index, because fortunately we don't have the index here again, so we'll just say key index. Sometimes if that happens, I'll just change this variable to I or something, just so we know it's different, but that can get confusing. It's another reason why I like to just pull everything out into an additional component sometimes. And so then here we'll say span. Yeah, we'll play. I agree. We will play. Order.amount. Oops, do not want to capitalize everything. Order.amount, and then dash, and then end the span there. Okay. And then we'll give it the order.name. Cool. Okay, moment of truth. Are you ready? Let's see how it looks. And, oh, okay. You could put a little break tag down here to get a little space. I usually do it in the CSS, to be honest, but let's just see how it looks. Are you ready? Save. Let's take a look at it here. Okay, nothing's changed there because we have no orders in there. So let's go ahead and uncomment out that order just to see how it looks. Order 1, bam, save. Let's check it out. Ooh, looks terrible, but does it work? It works. We need some CSS, huh? Yep, we definitely need some CSS. We're gonna have to go to, what do we call it? An order item, app.css. In the main, cool, .app -- main .order - item, text align left, good, display flex, align items center, and justify content space around. And now, check it up. Still looks terrible. You know what? We're just gonna have to fix some things here, but it works, right? And if it works, I feel pretty comfy with it. So let's go ahead and pause for a second. Let's go get some snacks. Sure, on Aster, I'll go grab a bag of chips because how is he gonna? I don't want not hot Cheetos because then your fingers touch the keyboards and that's a no-go. Cool. Go to the bathroom, do all your stuff. We have 40 lines of CSS here. I'm feeling good about this, and we'll meet back here in let's say 15. Awesome. See you in a bit.